Good morning, hello, welcome to day 7 of Triple Brutal James takes on the Deca. Can't believe I'm saying that, I can't believe I'm saying that. We're not going to start talking about the end is in sight and everything, because there's quite literally 4 Ironmans between now and the finish.
Yeah,
but
forever. Yeah.
We're over the back of it, and we're motoring. Today it's forecast. In the bad weather, that is music. This guy's ears. Bit of bad weather.
Is it?
Oh, rain, yeah. A few showers. That doesn't deter us at all. We're ready for it. James is ready for it. And more importantly, Matt is ready to clean loads of bikes. Where is he? He's not here. Anyway, James, how you feeling?
Yeah, it's terrible, like. But, yeah, I'm alright.
I mean, relatively speaking.
Yeah,
like.
I'm alright. It's just, I mean, now it's funny how everything changes. It's the people that I'm doing it with. There's just shit out, and like see like little glimpses of people doing like amazing things, and it just makes you feel like you couldn't let them down. So you've got to keep going for them too. Yeah. It's brilliant. It's amazing.
I was trying to describe it yesterday. I was struggling to do it. Like you're all
competitors, and we know you have you like it when other people suffer and all sorts of stuff. But you also do this together, aren't you?
Oh yeah, yeah. I want everybody to find it as easy as possible to get it done, and when they do find the challenges, they just keep going over it. And it's ace. I mean, Darcy had a stellar one last night. Darcy went deep into night, but just kept going. It was ace, mate. Yeah.
awesome. Morning, Darcy. Okay. Alright. Late night last night?
It was a late night last night.
Just tell us what time you finished, what time you got in bed.
I think it was about 1ish. Okay. We were shuffling, but we went into a bit of a place, slowed down, and we got there, and we're here in the morning, and we go again.
Awesome. It's great to see, honestly. Good stuff.
Cheers, buddy.
Double Gulliver today. Big job.
And I didn't make the mistake of taking him off when I finished slathering him. Because then you got to grab a pull of water down.
Have a good one.
Do your thing, nice and easy.
What else can you do? I'm alright. So James is swimming. We had a little bit of a panic before the start. He's been struggling with his goggles steaming up. And Ash, my swim coach Ash, gave us a couple of tips, one of which was to get his face a cooler temperature, like the same temperature as the goggles, so to wet his face and the goggles when you're in the water. And he did that, and he's dropped his goggles in the water and obviously couldn't find them, so we had to throw him a spare pair to use for this morning's swim. So perhaps he doesn't try that strategy until we get those other pair back, or get him a new pair. I might have a little paddle in a bit and try and find them, because he wasn't very far in. And we could do with a spare pair of goggles. Actually, that's maybe not a job I'm going to volunteer myself for. Sounds like a job from Matt. So James is well into the swim now. He's probably only about 15 minutes away from finishing-ish. I'm just in his tent, just sorting a few things myself, getting breakfast, had a shower and stuff. And I'm also drying his trainers for later. Obviously he needs to run in there with wet from last night. I'm getting him for after the swim a tub of porridge. I'm thinking he might be slightly sick of porridge. He's had 2 pots obviously before he started. I've put 4 or 5 slices of banana in there because he's only had a bite of banana. At the beginning of this week he started having 2 bowls of porridge and a banana. Now it's like 1 3/4, 1.5 bowls of porridge and a bit of a banana. So we've got to just try and encourage him a bit more. Then also, again, for some more stealth calories and to make it a bit more appealing, putting him a load of honey in it as well. But it's quite difficult because I need to get it to him when he gets out the swim. It needs to be hot, but not too hot, and not cold. Nobody wants to eat cold porridge, so I'm just trying to time it right. I'm going to give it about 5 minutes and hopefully try and get it about right. And I think I've also showed you, James has got these little flashcards, which we've got a set of here and a set of in transition, and these are basically a checklist. So for us, what does he have when he wakes up? What does he have in T1? And it's really, really handy. It's brilliant, especially when we've got people coming in and out. So for example, Ash isn't here today, and we've had to, swap around who's doing what a bit. These are really handy because you can pick up, sure you don't know where stuff is and things, but you know what your little checklist is. So yeah, look forward to it. James Saxby's coming today as well, so look forward to seeing him. Let's get James out to swim. Great swim.
A bit quicker this morning.
Yeah.
Thank you. Cheers.
Awesome swimming. You feel good in the water?
No. Where's my mobility ramp? You got the tablets?
Look good again.
Yeah, it's okay. Yeah, it's done in it now. Yeah. It's my wedding anniversary today.
Happy anniversary, Kate told us yesterday.
Yeah.
She's got your card.
She did, yeah.
Her exact words are actually, it's our wedding anniversary today, but I don't suppose he's going to care.
Of course I care.
No, she was only joking.
Of course I care. It's being married that forces me out to do all this training, isn't it? Sorry, Kate, I was only kidding. I'll tell you what I've been thinking about. I've been thinking about them, like croissant things, but with Philadelphia cheese in.
Yeah, we've got loads of that.
Well, have I got a surprise for you?
I've been thinking about that a lot.
Lee was
Toasted bagel with Philadelphia.
Lee was telling Jen and Harvey how much soft cheese is good for you, like in an event. Just goes down, just brilliant. He was saying.
What did they say?
They were like, oh right, yeah.
Please leave us alone.
Yeah. So you might have seen in the last few days Jen and Harvey asking James some questions about his gut. Jen and Harvey aren't here until later on today, so I'm asking him these questions. So I'll just tell you what they're about. First one's all about nausea. Are you feeling sick? Second one is, do you feel like you're going to be sick? Third one is like, how full do you feel? Fourth one's about abdominal cramps. Do you have any? Fifth one's about gas or flatulence, and the sixth one's about the urge to defecate, and that is like a 0 to 10 scale. And this is being taken either 4 or 5 times a day, and it's really helping them track what's going off in his body. It's all well and good saying, oh, he's had all his food and he's performing well, but if he can't get off the toilet, or if he feels like he's, I don't know, feels like he's sick all the time, then that's not good, is it? So when we're trying to put a strategy together for other events or for other athletes who want to use this study to help use for them, this is really important. It might feel a bit tedious, might feel a bit monotonous, but actually it is important, so we're committed to following through with all this sort of stuff. So can't wait to ask him his questions in a minute. He knows them off by heart by now anyway.
Cheers, mate.
You're not going to like that drink, but please try and drink it.
Okay.
Go on, Simbo, get it down, yeah.
Matt Bagshaw's working his way towards another Unsung Hero Award. This is like the crew tent. This is where we keep all his like daily supplies, where we're feeding him and watering him from. Now, the sort of environment is, there's lots of wasps, lots of ants, lots of flies, that sort of thing. You have to work so clean and organised, otherwise ants get in things and flies get in things and stuff spoils. So Matt's very kindly just like cleaned down the whole working area and tidied the box and stuff. And that is something that nobody really wants to do, but Matt knows how important it is. I'm doing my best to help him by staying out the way and doing things he asks, but good job. All these little things add up.
Getting to the sharp end now, aren't we, as well? We need some sort of bug to bring him down and stop him from winning.
Yeah, exactly. We even noticed yesterday, when people were coming to spectating, he wasn't hugging them. He was like, yeah, cheers for coming, but I'm going to stay with it and get going, because he's really conscious of that sort of thing now, so good work. He's been in a couple of times, taken a couple of snacks, but I think you've seen that shot about 50 times now, so I'm going to not do that too much. So it gets to the point now where we're having to really mix it up fluids-wise for James, so he has something he likes the taste of. Matt, what have you opted for on this lap?
Well, it's a bit of whatever was in there last time, some of the different flavour of Lucozade, and then an orange one, like the classic, the one that you take to hospital when people are poorly. That one mixed in and then shaken up to get rid of the fizz, and I think that's quite nice.
Oh, so you've mixed up the flat Lucozade and fizzy Lucozade.
The fizzy Lucozade, made it all flat, and I didn't write down the recipe, which is a bit of a shame because I think it's going to be a hit.
And he's also working through this bacon sandwich. He really works well when it's in little pieces. It's like preparing food for a child, isn't it? Like you've got to cut everything up for him so he doesn't choke on it.
Yeah, it's going to be a nightmare when he gets home for Kate.
Yeah. You can only eat food that's in like 1-inch squares. Brilliant. He is weeing a lot. He keeps saying that he's drinking a fair bit and he's weeing a lot. So he said something like he's going to not drink as much. I said keep drinking, but it's up to him what he does. He is hydrated, he's had a lot of electrolytes over the last 24 hours.
Well, he was sweating a lot in the night, so he had his normal pH 1500 last night, sweat all night, and then we gave him an extra one in this morning.
Yeah.
So he should, I'm not surprised he's peeing a lot. Better that problem.
Yeah, electrolytes wise, we're alternating between pH 1500 and SIS, just the normal tabs, just to mix the flavours up. The pH is stronger, or more electrolytes in it, but it's got a bit of a different flavour, so we're trying to mix it up. And then obviously the Lucozades and things got a bit more carbs in. But he's doing a good job of eating solid, so we don't really need to ram loads of carby drinks down him. Like the carb mixers, in honesty, he's gone off a little bit because he's had so much of it, but he will have a bottle if we say you need to drink this. So we will have to give it him at some point. We're trying to just hold off if we can. Maybe get mixed up a few of those bottles, tubs. Okay.
Don't know what you said, but whatever.
Okay, so with Ash gone, we've had to draft in a replacement. Morning, James.
Morning.
Okay.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you for coming up. Good to see you.
And you?
James supported Triple Brutal James on the Triple Brutal, so he's got quite a bit of experience of seeing James in Bit of a pickle. You went up and down Mount Snowdon, didn't you? Oh, what's he shouting for now?
Come up here to work. What bottle's this?
So James has just got off the bike for a toilet stop. I think it's just a wee. He likes weeing in buckets, so he's just going to keep Matt on his toes with that. So Matt's just holding his bike for him, then he's going to get back out again. James has been having a lot of wheeze this morning. He's had a lot of electrolytes, so he's trying to moderate his fluid intake. I'm not worried about it too much yet, but something to bear in mind. Harvey and Jen have just arrived as well, so we're just going to catch up about what food and drink James had this morning. But I'll just give you a bit of a summary. He's had a few sweet things from Jelly Baby, some like Haribo straws. He's had a bacon carb, bagel with cream cheese and beef on it. He seems to like that. Obviously had to eat bagel with cream cheese and ham. Cream cheese is really good for how many carbs are in it versus how big it is. I think that's about it. A lot of bagels this morning. Just a cob with a hole in it, isn't it? Basically. Looking good. Good progress.
How's your pissing going?
I don't need one.
Good. Hopefully stop that.
You don't ask about number 2, do you?
Well, you'd see it on the back of his leg, wouldn't you?
How many buckets are you had to empty, Matt?
Piss buckets, several. Yeah.
So
Ash did the bottles though. The overnight bottles. They were especially full as well. They must have, yeah. They were really full, weren't they?
James. James just made that position. That's a key position he's just made.
Hey?
That's a key position he's just made.
Has he?
Matt, when James just came in the last time, what did he say about the weather?
So the other side of the course is like the Arenberg Forest in March, and he seemed really happy about it as well. Actually.
Absolutely buzzing about it. Yeah. What a sicko.
Yeah.
Awesome. So it's raining basically, isn't it?
Cold and raining. He was wet actually. Very wet. I would like him to have a gilly on, but he said no.
Okay.
No, I know.
Good stuff. Oh, nice his turn up. We'll settle in.
Come on, James. Forgot he's racing.
Jen, what just happened?
He's racing a bit, I think.
He just came in, shouted.
Yeah, carb mix. Something he hasn't wanted all week.
Brilliant. Quick race, here we go. Come on, James. That was fast, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was the quickest
Right. Let's start getting some splits. Here we go.
The reason we had no carb mix ready because we don't like it.
Yeah, he's avoiding it.
Let's get the camera ready for next time. Come on, James. So James coming steaming in then and doing that. It's all well and good, but we have to really think now about fueling. His intensity is obviously risen. Harvey, how do we do this? Because we're just flapping.
Yeah, so obviously he's been going a lot by heart rate so far, and assuming that maybe starts to increase, he'll likely be obviously using more fuel and burning a bit more energy. As intensity kind of increases, the kind of fuel source that'll come from is carbohydrate. So the emphasis will probably be more on ensuring that he has more carbs. Obviously at the moment we're not kind of worried too much about what we're getting in him because we're just trying to get as much in him as often as we can.
Yeah.
But I guess if kind of ramps it up even further, it'll just be emphasising the carbohydrate intake more over than the other kind of macronutrients. So
Yeah.
that's kind of the main shift when the intensity increases.
Got it. So at the minute he's been having a bit of everything, whereas now, if he's going to ride like that, then
Yeah, and like
got
he's
it.
just come flying in then, obviously transition times are going to be a bit less, so it's just trying to find things that he can take on quickly and that he can kind of get on down and quickly and then get back into the aero position and on his way.
Yeah, good stuff. He gave us no heads up this was going to happen today, by the way.
No.
He's just, he's gone.
He gave us about 3 seconds warning.
Yeah, fair enough. Okay, all right, let's do it. Thanks very much. Good work, guys. Good work. Brilliant ride. Brilliant.
That was the hardest headwind. That saddle in it.
No what? No. Well done, mate. What's that?
It's good you think it's funny, isn't it?
Yeah. First lap, straight to the toilet. GI symptoms, nausea? Nothing. Regurgitation?
Nothing at all.
Okay, good.
Yeah, no, feel fine. Yeah, I seem to eat plenty early on.
Yeah.
I'm putting weight on.
That's what you want, isn't it? Good.
Slick transition, then here we go.
Okay, yeah.
This is where
Yeah.
you where it counts. Bike stats.
I only had a quick look. I think his maximum heart rate was 122. I think his MP was 126 or something.
Okay,
like
another 5 watts or so on top. Yeah.
So he did say that was the hardest headwind he's had. But he's also the fastest. You can tell he's trying, can't you?
Yeah.
It's probably the hardest.
What was his like ride time and overall time? Do you know?
I don't know. Didn't look at that.
No, look at that.
It's a quick split though, quick bike split. It's only just over after 3 o'clock now. So. You filming me empty a piss bucket?
Yeah.
But I feel fine. Like I say, the only thing I can feel is that just my legs now, feel as if I've been running Ironman for days.
I think that's what's happening, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think.
But just like,
It's not too strange.
just keep me together for today. Let's have a good run.
Oh yeah.
That'd be nice,
You'll
wouldn't
be
it?
alright.
Yeah.
Let's go around the banner.
And I think I've come up with a plan. You two could get married, get a little gypsy caravan, set it up on a field, and you could live there and I could just run around the field and you could just feed me all day, all night. Yeah, and you can raise a little family and we'll all be happy together. Sounds great, doesn't it?
Yeah, see you there.
Strong ride, James. Strong ride.
I don't know, was it?
No, it was. Yeah, I was saying statement. Strong ride. Good.
Very tough conditions today.
Yes.
I would say the hardest day, personally, because the headwind was just more constant in more places. But yeah, I'm pleased with that.
Yeah.
So just try and hold it together for the run.
Let's settle into this.
Yeah. I'll see you in a bit. See you later.
Okay, so with James out on the run, he's got a decent lead. We're not going to get too far into it, but he's going well, he's feeling good. He's just said that he's feeling really hot, particularly on the far side of the lake. There's a lot of tree cover, so there's not much breeze there, and it probably is mid-20s degrees Celsius, so quite warm for running. Now, we are now without Jem and Harvey from Total Endurance Nutrition. They've nipped off this afternoon. They're not here tomorrow, but they're back for a couple of days this week, which is brilliant. So we've been spent the last couple of days, learning from them and learning tips and tricks, and also getting involved ourselves. So I'm now going to take the lead with just like making food, and then James and Matt are going to do the running to and from and speaking to him and stuff. So I'm in the kitchen. I'm trying with different things. I had some golden vegetable rice with some cheese and butter, and he said no to it because it smells spicy. Fine. We've got some pilau rice, but it's not like whiteboard rice, so he's going to think it's spicy. I know it isn't, but he's going to think it is. What else are we doing? He's had some rice pudding up yet with some sweets, so he's still eating stuff. And we don't need to panic. We see him very often, every 1.1 miles, so we just need to keep fueling him, hydrating him, and he'll be alright. Keep tipping the laps off. Good afternoon, Saxby.
How are you doing?
You having a good day?
Thank you.
How does this challenge compare to the incredible things you've seen me do on a bike?
Just remind me again what they were.
I won a third cat crit.
Well, it just don't compare, does it? I mean,
He's not won, he even won, has he?
no, not yet.
No. So he's on now, I think he's on lap 7 or 8, is he?
I've lost count.
Yeah, he's on lap 7 or 8, and he's about 15 minutes in the lead on today's race. Overall, he's 50 minutes behind the lead. I got it wrong yesterday. It wasn't 1 minute, it was like an hour. So he took 10 minutes back yesterday, and today he's currently on track to take 15 minutes back. However, there is about 18 miles left to run, so clearly a lot can happen, and you're thinking about the next day. It's not about just putting time for this person today, it's about getting to the finish in a good enough shape to be able to do 3 more Ironmans as a main priority. It's turning into a bit more of a race, isn't it? I think we're making it more of a race than James is.
I think he's realised it is a race, but he's also aware that he's got to finish it to be worthwhile starting, kind of thing. So
Yeah.
But he's looking good, really good.
Well done, Dan. Good work. Cool. He's got jam and something sandwiches. He thinks that Harvey and Jen are still here. That is a bit of a deception on our behalf, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't know why he thought that professional nutritionists would make a jam and custard cream sandwich, but he thinks they're still here, so we're not telling him otherwise.
Yeah, I've got jam all over the cobs as well. He said to Ash that, he said to James, I know what they're doing. They're trying to wean themselves off me. Well, they are weaning themselves off him because they've gone home. But James thinks that they're in the tent and obviously just sending stuff out. So whatever, fair play. That's who's leading. James will up ahead. So what's happening? James has gone past him. He's a lap behind James. That might just be a statement. I can't wait to talk to him later. Stay tuned and see how this race has played out and what's going through his mind, because he's moving. That guy's been taking time out of James on the run all week. Come on. This could be Simpo time. Is it Simpo time? Who knows? Maybe it is. Guy in yellow is the guy in front overall.
Is that why he shushed me?
Yes. What were you trying to say to him?
I said, was it a number 1 or a number 2? He just come from the toilet block.
And he shushed you. Blimey, okay. I wonder if that's a statement, because he's actually a lap ahead of him. James
Well,
is
he
a lap
just
ahead of him.
ran past him. I think
Yeah.
he put a dig in then just to get past.
Yeah.
So
Is it Simpo time?
it can't be Simpo time until the last day, surely.
Right.
But I think yeah.
He's giving us a little inkling, isn't he?
well, I think trying to get in that guy's head maybe.
Yeah.
I think the opposite happened earlier.
Right.
So, but again, you know, it's still early days, isn't it? Really?
Yeah, you're right. It is. Oh dear, as long as he's enjoying his jam and whatever biscuit sandwiches I've made anyway. Yes, James, brilliant.
Hiya. You okay?
Yeah.
So please, thank you.
Awesome. Great running. This is where it counts. Okay, this is getting real. This might not go out in today's video. If it does, then it's a bonus. If it doesn't, then it might be in the post-race series documentary. Where James is 11 laps into this run. The run is 25 laps. He is 1 lap up on the guy who's leading overall. And they've done a bit of to and fro on the road. So James has passed him, he's passed James. If we're honest, we think James is chasing him and he's trying to put some time into him, but we're concerned for James because we don't think he's been eating enough to be able to go at the required intensity. It's really hard for us to gauge how fast James is running because there's not like a lap split, but by looking at him, we think he's running faster than he did yesterday, and looking at his like splits at like 5 and 10 miles and so on. He's getting a bit flustered. He said on the last lap and this lap, there's too many people, you're flustering me. Now there's only 3 of us, there's me, Emily and James. James wants rice pudding. As I was saying, we feel that James is going too hard. James is obviously racing. We need to put some trust in him. He's experienced and he's fit. So we're trying to balance that with making sure that we're doing our job to look after him. It's causing tensions to fray a little bit. You know, James has said to us a couple of times, you know, borderline snapped, there's too many people here, you're flustering me. Well, we're around him because on the last lap he wanted magnesium gel on his legs and he wanted obviously drink and food, so people have only got so many hands. But we just need to bear that in mind. And even on the last lap then I stood at the side and the 2 others giving him stuff and he said too many people, so we need to remove ourselves, but that's difficult because you're trying to support him. So I'm going to get this rice pudding. Hopefully he just gets a bit calmer. He still has about 15 miles to run. Like, it's a long way, a lot can happen. That's over 2 hours of running. He needs to remain calm, but I can't preach that. I'm not in the race, so let's get him this rice pudding. So in the midst of all us flapping, yeah, we started running out of stuff like muller rice we didn't have much of. James wanted some more of. Ash very kindly was on his way here and has absolutely been very, very friendly with me, ringing him and asking him for 53 million things. Ash, we're so grateful for you bringing stuff. It helps us support James. You've been here supportive, so appreciate it. And there's
keep moving.
Others have brought loads of stuff as well at various points, and honestly, it really makes a difference. James is just going around the lap turnaround now. And then we see there behind him is the guy that he's sort of trying to, in the yellow t-shirt, the guy who's trying to, you know, like keep ahead of basically. So what you can see is the guy who's leading overall, Dave, is just holding James at about 20 or 30 metres, just running at the same pace as James. He's a lap down, but he's only losing a lap, and a lap's going to be about 12 to 15 minutes. So that's good strategy by him, absolutely fine. If James takes a lap today, and then for the next 3 days, James will beat him. But I think James wants to seal it up a little bit early than that, but we'll hear from him later on. But a lap would be a great result today. It would absolutely be a great result. And finishing would be a great result, so let's start with that one. Oh man, this is hard. Anyway, I need to go back to making some bagels for him. Okay, I'm just with Steve King, not the author apparently. Steve's also doing an event that isn't the one a day. You're doing a slightly different event, Steve. What is the event you're currently part way through doing?
So the event I'm doing is the UK Deca continuous
triathlon, which is 24-mile swim in a swimming pool, 1,120 mile bike ride, get off the bike, and then a 262 mile run, all done in 12 days. So it's 1 day, 24 hours for the swim, 6 days for the bike, and 5 days for the run.
How far are you into it now?
And now I'm near enough 100 miles into the run, so I've completed the swim.
Yeah.
And
So some people might say that swimming in a pool is easy. Would you just touch on the issues you had with the pool you told me a minute ago?
Yep, so the big issues I have not being a competent swimmer would probably be my shoulders were so sore all the time, so I alternated between breaststroke and front crawl. So I started off going front crawl all the time, then I went 3 front crawl, 1 breaststroke, and then I ended up going 2 and 2, and then I ended up going 1 and 1, so 1, which obviously then makes it longer, and then it took me, I was in there for 21 hours and 15 minutes, I think.
Oh, that's me. So, how did the chlorine affect you?
Yeah, so the chlorine, after when I got out, I didn't realise it at the time, but obviously when I got out and we was coming home, I couldn't breathe properly, taking on water, but I couldn't swallow properly, felt like razor blades in my throat, and then obviously the next day got on the bike, then trying to take fluids on and food and that, but it was like just couldn't swallow it properly, because everything was a real gulp to try and get it down. So
awesome. Well, we'll be here for the next few days. Look forward to seeing you get on.
No problem. No problem at all. Thank you very much.
Incredible. James isn't a million miles off of finishing. You might remember earlier this morning he dropped his goggles in the swim. Matt Bagshaw, what have you just spent a little while doing?
Well, I'm just going to have a little bike ride, and then I thought, well, I'm in my cycling kit, I might as well, before I go in the shower, I'm going to have a little look. So I waded out into the lake to the buoy and just did a little grid search, just like back and forward, not like an absolute nut job to people swimming past, but I found them.
Brilliant.
So yeah, quite pleased with that.
So James has got spare goggles and he's got spare goggles. However, these are his favourites. They've been working well. So that will make a difference to his race. So thank you very much, Matt.
Brought a smile to his face when I showed him anyway.
Yeah, exactly. And that means you're a triathlete again now.
Actually, the water was lovely as well. I'm going to tell him, but I don't know what the fuss is about.
Excellent. So we're just making James's tea. He's 2 or 3 laps off of finishing, and then it's standard routine. Try and get into bed ASAP. I'm going to try and get a few words from him tonight to talk about his race, because I feel like there's a lot we don't know.
It's been a bit of a drama, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. But we'll hear that from him a little while later. So see you shortly. So Harvey and Jen went some time ago. James, what does James Simpson think? What does he think they are?
Thinks they're here chefing up.
What feedback have you been given about the food that he's been having?
No, he didn't really give any feedback about the food. Well, apart from the jam and custard cream sandwich being an absolute winner.
Love that. Yeah.
Which I think your creation.
It was, yeah.
Well,
I couldn't find the Ritz biscuits.
Well, someone's got to go first with these new flavours, haven't they?
Exactly, be a trend. Yeah. And he said they're doing really well, didn't he? Harvey and Jen doing really well.
Harvey and Jen are keeping him going.
Yeah.
We did overdose him on electrolytes like this morning when we weren't here.
He was urinating quite a lot, wasn't he? Like a lot. We'll get there in the end, won't we? We'll get there.
Yeah, by day 10 we'll have it
I nailed it, yeah. Exactly, great. I've written down everything he's eaten, it's got on this spreadsheet. I need to start now actually. Right, let's crack on. More than great, awesome. Absolutely.
I think we'll all go in tent together and have a bit of a look. I feel like I might need to just tickle you all under your chin.
No, you don't need to at all.
No way, mate.
But I definitely think that I ought to explain. I've explained to Ash, but everybody was brilliant today.
Brilliant stuff.
I've got some stats questions to ask you actually as well. Yeah, it's you know when you're running around and there's all them other people doing the other events, it's awe-inspiring in the true meaning of it. It's fantastic.
Do you know when you ask what they're doing, they say, oh, who are you supporting? They say, oh, I support someone doing it. They're going, what? Regardless of what other event they're in. There's a guy in the Continuous today, I got on the video, and he was talking about how he respected the 1 a day a lot because of the different demands that
I passed the guy called Martin today. He's on the Continuous, and he was having a bit of a bad patch, and he was just walking, dragging his walking poles behind him. And as I ran past him, he just said, "You're supposed to use them like this." And I laughed, right, for at least half of that. Yeah, they've all been amazing today. I'm sorry that I was a bit snappy.
You don't need to apologise.
When you're snappy, we know you mean business, and that
Yeah.
motivates us genuinely. Nothing you say or do out there during this event counts, unless you really mean it, man. Do you know what I mean? Like you don't need to explain yourself. You just need to tell us what you need and when, and obviously you know.
I just need you lot to know what I need when I don't. Okay?
Yeah.
I like it when we offer you like a mixed mezzo and you just go, no. Right.
It was red hot though. But as soon as we got onto dry rice, it was okay, but it was a bit too dry. But as soon as we got onto mashed potato, I think that could be like a secret thing.
Yeah.
So we've got
record that.
Yeah. And you definitely got some small gains if you ride your TT bike, but that's just in raw speed to power. Whether there's other gains that you feel in your road bike, handling, eating and drinking that outweigh that.
You know, on that road bike, I am in
some water in a pot noodle.
the time trial position.
Yeah.
You know, when you're on the TT bike, I'm out of the TT position.
Yeah.
What I've discovered
Road bike isn't.
is the TT bike is very cumbersome. And I'm noticing other people as well. They're out of the TT position a lot.
Everything again.
Okay.
So I think that sort of hybrid position is probably the way to go, I think.
Yeah. But the other thing I was going to say was, you're pacing on the laps, ride harder into headwind, easier with the tailwind.
I was doing that. And do you know who I was hearing? I was hearing your voice. Hearing your voice.